What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute. It's been crazy. It's been hot. I've been doing a lot as well. There was a LML with the CP3 swab. There's a Power Stroke. Got about 5 Duramaxes, you know, worked on a bunch of those. Like, it's been a crazy couple weeks. Ashley wired a whole camera system in a 392 Jeep. We've just been so busy, so I haven't really done much to this. I did end up getting that socket and tightening the pitman arm nut that goes on the rough country steering bar brace. I just hammered it with the impact, tightened it all up as much as that can go, so that's tight. And now we could put on our rough country steering box brace. We could put the sway bar back on, put the end links on. We could swap our bumper brackets out and get this thing pretty set up for completion. Also, we'll get to the headlights in a second. But over the past week or so, I've been sitting here trying to determine whether I wanted to actually move this or not. I know I said I wanted to, but I think I'm not. It would be nice to move it up there. However, it's in a place, it works, it runs, it does what it does, and all it does is bolt back in. So taking it, moving it, putting it underneath the cab, and I got two options. Either it's going to be on this side of the frame, which is directly behind the tire, or the other side in there. Where I'd mount it in there, it is a good spot, and I would probably do it. But if I was actually going to do it and do it the right way, I'd probably get a whole bunch of different fittings so I can get the 90-degree angles right. It would actually be flowing backwards to go up and around and over. And would it be able to work? Yes, but doing all the extra steps and the extra work right now just to move that in a position that I'm not even 100% on it. I don't want to sit there and buy a whole bunch of new fittings and stuff to make the hose work right, so I think I'm just going to leave that. So that means the back here is pretty much done. I know we can delete that. I'll look into it, but I think you get a water and fuel light. I don't really want that, so maybe we'll get rid of that with the fast. I'll look into that in the next few hours here. I guess back here the only thing left is I got to rerun the harnesses that go to these specific things, plug a couple things in. I'm right now working on something with a guy I found. I actually can pin my BCM, turn some things on Alpha OBD, and make 5th gen LED taillights work with the amber turns on this truck. And these, I actually finally got them out of the box. I've had them on the shelf forever. No, they're not going to be chrome. We're going to custom do them. I'm definitely not going to leave them like that. And over here, as you already know, our specialty clear reflectors that'll go in the side of these headlights, and we'll get rid of that amber completely. It'll look sick. I think I got some word that my wheels are supposed to be cut, or they're in the queue for about July 5th. And honestly, these past couple weeks of me being, you know, pushed back on this is actually kind of lining up the wheels perfectly. So this should be all wrapped up, and maybe only get to drive on this for a couple days before our wheels show up. We can get them powder coated and put on. This is definitely the most interesting part of the build, because like I said, there's just a lot of little things that you never want to do, but you got to. So we're gonna start tackling that today. We'll get the rest of this steering box brace and sway bar installed. We'll get the bearing all put on, hopefully tighten the front end, maybe even get our filler neck and stuff, and maybe just maybe we'll get this bed thrown back on later if we get a couple extra hands in here. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can achieve, and let's get busy. Oh my gosh, I already forgot too, the drive shafts. We could put the drive shafts on, so without us moving the fast, technically this truck should also drive, even though it doesn't have any headlights, grill, or bumpers. Should drive. So yeah, let's get busy. I'm actually excited for the drive shafts because literally for that reason, the movement. It can move, it can drive. Batteries are definitely dead. We'll jump it, but I'm excited. Let's keep digging, and then I think I'm honestly going to bring you guys a whole custom headlight build video on these sometime soon, because obviously I need to do them to get them done, but I really want to see that in there, the grill on the bumpers. I just want to see it. I want to see the new look, and then we'll really see how it looks with the new wheels and tires. But yeah, guys, lots of little things. Let's keep knocking it out and see how far we get today. Putting this truck back together. Okay, so I was about to fill up the transfer case, and like the G56 takes ATF, and the fluid coming out of the T case was, I mean, it was red, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's just ATF, we'll fill it up, no problem, got some on the shelf. Well, no, it's never a good sign when the manual's out, because even on Google and across the internet, this T case only takes one fluid, and to this day there's not really an alternative that you can, or people have said to put in it, but it's Borg-Warner 4444 T case fluid, and man, I had no idea. I honestly think we lost at least a full quart in the times this T case has been out, and probably a little more. So I had to order 2, and that is some expensive fluid. It's like $55 a quart. But I just spent $100 at Summit Racing, and it should be here Monday, and we'll fill it up. But man, I can't believe that $55 a quart. That is ridiculous. And I don't know what's so special about it, but just because it is so special and you can only really get one type, I just I didn't want to even mess around. So it's coming, and we'll be able to do that early next week. But yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, I can't even believe that. Alright guys, well there you have it. That big job is done. Taking that intercooler out and doing that with all the brackets and stuff, it's not quick. I knew it would be something the whole time. It was. Ashley and I both had to throw that in there. Getting it literally, Banks makes the biggest intercooler possible for these trucks. It fills up all the space. You literally have minimal room to get those brackets back in there, and the bolts just barely slide in if you push the intercooler one way and then the other way. So it's a tight fit, but I'm glad that's done. Our new bumper brackets are on there. I'm gonna leave these loose for now because there is some up and down movement in these, so we'll be able to align the bumper once that's on. And then also I could have done it today, but I forgot to powder coat the light bar brackets gloss black for the Rough Country Black Series 20-inch light bar we got to go up here. I forgot to powder coat those black, so once I do that, we'll be able to throw those on, the tow hooks on, we can mount the light bar, run all our wiring, and do all that before our bumper goes on. As you can see, I threw the other Alpha Rex Nova headlight in there, and then I threw our grill on. Obviously this is not how this thing's gonna look, but it does look silly. It kind of reminds me of the day I actually bought it, the day I picked it up. It reminds me of it. It had the chrome grill, the chrome headlights. This was black underneath the headlights, and had the chrome bumper. It just seeing the upper half really makes me, you know, or I guess really reminds me of that, because it looks so similar and so funny. Obviously, I guess you guys haven't seen this yet, but yeah, here's the grill. We're going with this grill instead of the Ram, the one that says Ram, like the 2018 grill. One, obviously, you know those grills are stupid expensive for no reason, and my other thought is I really liked this grill, and it was more aggressive, not like luxurious, and the Ram letters and all the, you know, the striping and all that, it looked more like, and obviously what it was, high-end trim, you know, grill option. And not that I don't want it to look like that, I just was thinking that, you know, this with the wheel and tire setup we're doing and the suspension and all that, I kind of wanted more of an aggressive, you know, rugged look. So we went with the classic old honeycomb grill, and obviously we'll match this. We'll do a little customization to the ram's head in there, and this whole front end. And I guess that's also why I wanted to throw this stuff on here for you, is to show you guys what this stuff looks like, obviously in chrome, but when we customize each little item, how much different this whole truck is going to look, just by, you know, doing those things. This is going to change the whole, it's literally the same things, but it's going to change the whole look of this here next week. Now, like I said, we got the clear markers for this. That's going to be awesome. There's our old grill down there. And honestly, that grill, if you guys have been here this long, is actually the same grill. This is the same grill we started with, and then I was like, I know I'm gonna regret this one day, and you cut it out to put the insert in it, and here we are, back to the original grill. For a second, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna need to order the fog light harness because I don't have one. Well, I forgot that it's actually in here. I need to undo this. I'm excited to have parking sensors in the new bumper again. I actually haven't had parking sensors for like 6 years. Every time I put the, I could never get the plastic rings that surround the sensor to fully seat in the bumper. I think if there's a little slag or something that didn't allow it to fully snap in, but it always thought something was in front of it, and always set the warnings off. So this truck has had the front and rear sensors turned off for like 6 years. The rears, because when we put it on originally, late night, doing all that, the whole harness is in backwards, so it never reached the plug on the truck. So that hasn't been plugged in for that long, and the front has never been turned on in that amount of time because it always just went off all the time. So hopefully now we'll have good working parking sensors. If not, I will definitely get a new set, because that is definitely gonna work again. I want that. It's like changing all this up and getting that feature back, it really makes it feel like a whole new truck. Anyway, oh my gosh, it's looking good down here. The Rough Country steering box brace, we got our factory sway bar all back in, new end links, everything's tight up here. Now, going along with the rest of the stuff we did today, the rear drive shaft, that reminded me that I didn't put the front drive shaft in. That reminded me of the greasable end links on there. I need to get a new grease gun. I had like a cheap Harbor Freight one forever, and it's just leaking from every little hole. So, but definitely need to get one of those so I can grease that. I have the needle fitting, so I can grease that drive shaft, and I can also get that put in next week too, because now that we're this short, definitely do not need a Bluetooth drive shaft, so that's gonna go back in. But other than that, rear drive shafts all in, connected, that's looking good. And then also I have a surprise, but we're gonna do something very cool. I do have a new 5-inch exhaust, and we're gonna do something awesome with it that's really gonna complement what we're doing with the truck, if you catch my drift. But I got a whole new exhaust, doing the custom headlights, so we got a lot coming next week, and I'm really excited to see how this little experiment we're gonna do turns out. I was gonna stack the truck, but this is our alternative, and I've been waiting for a minute to do this again because of how this has been cut for so long, and obviously the tip, not that I didn't mind it, but I just hated how the end of this exhaust was, because it didn't allow you to put a tip on the truck and have it sit well and point out the side still. But I have a solution to that with the experiment we're doing, so it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna bring this whole truck together with what we're doing, and it's gonna look so good when it's all done. You'll be seeing it here soon. Like I said, guys, got a little busy, but it's time to get this thing done. I'm so excited. I really want to drive this, and I'm really really excited to see how this thing drives. The new setup, already just how it compresses when you lean on it or push on it, or even getting the intercooler in, pushing up on it, and it was just so soft. And I feel like this thing's gonna ride incredible. And I'm just really looking forward to it. Like I said, waiting on a couple things, and next week this whole thing should change. The whole suspension is finally complete, other than those dual steering stabilizers. So that's about it there. Like I said, these will definitely change up next week. I will want to give you guys a tutorial on this, like a brand new one. We'll get the bumpers put on, everything back here as well. Everything's rewired, plugged in, brakes are all bolted down, harnesses are all nice, neat, tucked, tidy. Everything's plugged back in. I'm just gonna run I'm gonna run the wires for rock lights just so they're here, and we'll honestly throw a new set in there just to have them. I need to run 2 wires from the body control module. I've got a guy making me a harness, and we'll be able to run the 5G taillights with the amber for certain now. I'll show you guys how to do that, alpha OBD, all of that as well. We'll turn those functions on, pin the BCM, run them back here, and I'll just run it all nice and tidy, get those all run up to where they should be before we put the bed back on. But the bed should be on next week. The front end should look different, and to be honest, this thing should be able to drive. Well, it can drive right now, other than the T-case fluid, but should be able to drive and be in its new form next week. And then after this thing can actually drive and move out of here, looking pretty on the stocks, we have a bunch of other stuff to do, like I said, from Boost Auto. Those factory cab lights over these, I don't know how many years I've had this, they're starting to discolor, and I mean, we've got a special touch for up there, and the mirror lights as well. But till next week, this is how she's sitting. She's looking good. I'm really glad we got the front bumper brackets all done, and next week we got a lot to do. This is gonna change, and I'm so excited. It's gonna look so good. I'm so excited for these headlights. I think you guys are too. They're gonna look so good. I can't wait. Alright guys, well if you enjoyed this video, shoot a thumbs up. If you haven't been here before, please get down there, click subscribe, drop me a comment if you haven't already. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next one.